Hello ladies and gentlemen, today's video is going to be the long-awaited F-15 RWR mod that I use and you guys have been asking for a very long time. Now, in order for this to work, I use Tetra's RAE mod, which can be found over here. The files that I have included in the description already include RAE. All I did is add my little changes into the RAE folder. So this is a whole new mod itself, but 95% of all the work that's in there is Tetra's work. I just have a little bit of details in there just to make it work with the F-15. Tetra gave me the blessing, so he told me it's okay for me to upload his files and my files into its own little thing, and will be in the description below for you to download off of the DCS user files. The thing you do need to get on top of my mod is the JSGME, because it's made to work for that. The link will also be in the description. Follow the steps along. If you don't have it, it's pretty easy. Little pretty pictures in there for you to follow along, so it shouldn't be too difficult. So if you only have the F-15 and not the A-10, this should still work. You're just going to have a couple of superfluous folders and files in there, but I believe it should still work. So let's go over and see what the files are actually like. Okay, so on your left side is your original installation folder, wherever it is that you've installed, and on the right is the actual mod itself. So I'll show you what the stock sounds like versus what the mod sounds like. The mods folder is just a script, so we're not going to worry about that. It's really the sounds folder that we need to worry about. So sounds, effects, aircraft, cockpit, and RWR. And the RWR expanded is all of Tetra's work. This is everything for the A-10C. This will not work for the Flaming Cliffs 3 aircraft because they do not use different tones and different files for different things that show up on the RWR, whereas the A-10C can. There may be a way to make it work, but as I've asked, it doesn't. So I've made little small adjustments. So the launch warning, for example, is one of those things. Also, you'll notice there's two different types of files. There's WAV, and then there's the, I think, OGG files. I think they distinguish between the A-10C and the, which use the WAV files, and the OGG, which uses for the Flaming Cliffs aircraft. That's why they double up in certain ones, like here. These two are identical, but they different sounds because different aircraft. So the launch warning is extremely annoying. I hated that, so I went ahead and used Tetra's launch warning for one of the SAM launches. And now it's going to sound like that with this mod. The launch warning US is the A-10C's missile launch warning. And now we're basically with the same exact sound. If you don't like that, then all you do in the mod file, delete this. And just leave the stock file that's there and nothing gets changed. Threat new US. This one was extremely annoying. Every single time anything pops up on your radar warning receiver, you're going to hear that tone. I didn't like that. I wanted something a little bit quicker that doesn't repeat as much. Still grabs my attention, but is a lot less annoying. And that worked for me. Also grabbed straight from Tetra's RAE mod right here. Okay, now let's work backwards. So click back here. So here we have a bunch of other things that I've included. I'll leave these last. The master warning. So if we go master warning, this repeats itself for Flaming Cliffs 3 aircraft, if you remember. This is usually when you're on fire and falling down from the sky, right? So I didn't like that, and I took this instead. And that's what I use for that. And that repeats itself over and over again. The warning tone. Oh, I think this is where I grabbed it from. But you can hear it's a little bit different. So the stock files, this is between the A-10 and the Flaming Cliffs aircraft, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And one of them just sounds a little weirder. This one's a bit more crisp, while this one's kind of down. So I went ahead and copied this and changed it to a WAV file, so it replaces this one with the nicer, crisper sound. And the Gbreath, this is the one that a lot of people really like. So I went ahead and didn't like this. So annoying. And there's two of them, because there's during your G effects you're going to hear this, and then when you let go of the stick and everything cools off, and he kind of relaxes. So these two files had to be changed. I went ahead and found a dogfight HUD footage, and I grabbed the sound effects from there. And it just sounds more realistic. It's just better. I don't know. It doesn't feel like I'm being annoyed by pulling G's anymore. And then that's the fade out. So this one's a biggie, and I wouldn't make this a mod itself, but I just felt like I'm not gonna have 14 different mods just for sounds, so I just put this all into my RAE mod. Okay, so working backwards, weapons, flare. I think this is the only other thing that I changed. I don't know why, I just didn't like this flare sound. They did change the flare sounds, so you might not like this at all, and you might want to just delete it, but this is how the flare sounds now. It's weird, it's like a gunshot, right? So I took someone firing a flare gun, I think, and this is what I came up with. And it's short, and it cuts out because there was a lot of ambient noise in the background after that, and I couldn't make it any louder than that, or any longer than that, excuse me. So that's unfortunate, but it works. I mean, it's fine. You don't really hear it anyway. And then the very last thing that I've done is added a speech folder. So for speech, if we go to sound, English and Russian. So for the English aircraft, I went ahead and changed Betty's bitching with some actual F-15E HUD tape. These are the little warnings that you usually get. So the one thing that I really don't like is the G over limit.
Over G, over G, over G, over G.
Every single time you hit that G over limit, it repeats itself 4 times by default. I hated it. I was making some videos, and I was video editing, doing sound edits, and that was driving me nuts. So I went ahead and changed it.
Over G, over G.
And I used the F-15 sound. You can actually hear the engines rumbling in the background as well. And I made it so that it only repeats itself twice and not fucking 4 times. So that helped me a lot. The maximum G
over G
is exactly the same thing. There's another folder in here that does the same thing. Then there was the left engine fire and right engine fire.
Left engine fire.
And then she just sounds way too happy with that, so I went ahead and...
Engine fire, left.
And then the same thing, there's a right engine fire.
Engine fire, right.
So it just sounds a little bit more realistic, and I really liked it. So I also went ahead and found a Russian version of something when I was watching some hot tapes from the Russian guys. I think it was from the Frogfoot. Could be mistaken though. Betty. Angle of attack over limit and G over limit. These are exactly the same. So the way it sounds now in game.
Предельный угол атаки. Предельная перегрузка.
And mine sounds like.
Предельный угол атаки. Предельная перегрузка.
And that is straight from the heads-up display stuff, so a bit less fake and a bit more realistic. Obviously, anything here you don't like, just delete it and it doesn't get replaced. Easy as that. And I believe those are the only changes that I've made. So although the F-15 will not be able to distinguish between the different kinds of sounds like the A-10C can, you'll get at least a little bit more oomph out of your F-15, and it's going to be a little bit less annoying. And that's it. So enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time.